So I just want to show you this. This is because this is awesome how Cenk Uygur admits I was right about this. And David Sirota reminds everybody. So what's happening right now is they're taking $15 minimum wage out of the COVID relief bill. And he's reminding everybody that if 6 to 10, the same thing with forced to vote for Medicare for all, if 6 to 10 progressive Democrats say I'm not voting for the bill, it won't pass. Because they had zero Republicans voted for this COVID relief. It's all a Democratic bill. So if 6 to 10 of them say I'm not going to vote for it, it won't pass. And Cenk Uygur knows this. He knows they're not going to do it. He finally admitted it's not going to happen. He didn't do a campaign to force a vote for $15 minimum wage. He didn't do that like I did for forced to vote for a Medicare for all. He didn't try to make the progressives do anything at all, except he kept apologizing for them all the way. He just got done pushing for Neera Tanden to be off OMB chairman and here. So now he got it. So he says, I'm burning my bridges. The truth about progressives in Congress. So he knows they're not going to do this. He knows this is not going to happen, that they're not going to do what they're supposed to, and they're going to let it, they're going to vote for a COVID bill without a $15 minimum wage. And they have all the leverage and they're not going to use it. So he knows that's happening. So he puts this, he finally has to tell the truth 3 months later about the squad and what's happening. And so he tweeted that out, and I tweeted this out. And I'm going to show you that video in a second. I'm going to show you his video, really? The whole thing. We'll watch it together. Okay. Gabe G says, translation, Jimmy was right, and I'm sad that Neera didn't get in. That's what this means. Burning my bridges, the truth about progressives in Congress. It means Jimmy was right, and I'm sad that Neera didn't get in. By the way, this video could be titled, Really, Really 3 months Late to the Party. And by the way, I did a voice to text. That was literally my reaction. Okay. I like what this guy says. Mark C. Washington says, I think you and Atticus Sperian owe Jimmy Dore and the rest of Forced to Vote supporters a public apology. 334 likes underneath Cenk's own thing. That's pretty good. That's good that an entire network of supposed professionals grabs their trends from a pothead comedian. Because watch Jimmy Dore today to see the strategy. The Young Turks will suggest 3 months later when it is too late. Watch Jimmy Dore today to see the strategy. The Young Turks will suggest 3 months later when it is too late. That is the entire network supposed to be professional journalists grab their trends from a pothead comedian. Whew, nice job. By the way, in this video, Esha points out that the video sounds like a confession that Cenk was not giving you the truth before because he was trying to protect his access to them. When criticizing access journalism, they were engaged in access journalism, not unlike MSNBC. Well, that's a great point. When he says, I'm burning my bridges, what? You don't burn bridges with politicians. You don't have the fuck are you talking about? You mean you're burning your access to them because you're going to tell the truth finally? That's what you mean? You're like, I haven't been telling the truth for a long time about them. And now I'm gonna. I certainly didn't tell the truth about the CARES Act, and I certainly didn't tell the truth about forced to vote. But here it is right in my face, and everyone sees this $15 minimum wage, and there's no denying what's happening. And so even after they got kicked off their committees, they thanked them. AOC, Katie Porter almost thanked Nancy Pelosi for kicking her off her committee. AOC said nothing about losing their committee assignments. Neither did the Young Turks.
They voted for her.
That's right. So when he says burning my bridges, it sounds like what? You mean you finally decided to stop doing access journalism with them? Fantastic. By the way, his own audience saw through it. There's the poll they did on their site. Should progressives in Congress withhold their votes from Pelosi until she promises a Medicare for all? That's 85% of his own. So it's almost 9 out of 10. If you round up, 9 out of 10 of their own viewers said do this, and they're like, nope, sorry, I need donor money. I need donor money. Fuck you and your health care. So they're not doing this, right? So Cenk puts out this stupid video, which I'm going to play in a second. But then his big idea is this. This is great. You can sign AOC's petition instead of ours to create your own. They're sending a petition to Kamala and Joe Biden to put a petition.
It's great. Strongly worded.
A strongly worded petition instead of using the power you actually have. So this is great. Yes. You can sign AOC's petition instead of ours and create your own. But jump in. Let's do this. Vice President is presiding officer of the Senate and has sole authority of what goes in the bill. # Save Us Kamala. How pathetic. Save us. # Save Us Kamala. We're going to do a petition. AOC has the power to stop this bill and get $15 minimum wage in if they vote as a block with a strategy. If they vote together as a block with a strategy. But you won't even ask them to do it. He's not even asking them to do that. Cenk's not even asking them to do that. He's putting all his focus on Kamala. Kamala, please. Is that how you influence people? You beg politicians to help you? You beg them? Or you demand it and say, we're going to fucking ruin you? Cenk's back to begging. He thinks that's how the Democrats need to be begged. The Young Turk, by the way, and so I want someone to ask Cenk when he says this, which bridge are you burning? What bridge are you burning? Which specific bridge? People should ask him. I'm getting to it. I know I'm burying this. But look, I just thought this was interesting. The Young Turks Twitter handle tweeted this out yesterday. It says the Young Turks host Cenk Uygur is amping up pressure on both Vice President Kamala Harris and Senator Bernie Sanders to continue to fight for a mandatory $15 minimum wage. # Save Us Kamala. # Don't kill it, Bernie. So he's not going to pressure them or actually start a campaign or try to get other people on it because that would actually take effort. He's just going to tweet. They're going to tweet this out and look at from their own Twitter. Oh, you can't see it. I think it may get cut off. So that was up yesterday. We just captured this before we came into the studio. They tweeted that out yesterday. 25 likes. So my question was, who buys this shit? 25 people. That's it. That's it. Of their 5 million subscribers, only 25 people are still buying Cenk Uygur's bullshit about this stuff. So let's get to the video. Xavier Kerrigan says, because it's an 18-minute and 42-second video, and he says, let me paraphrase all 18 minutes and 42 seconds for everyone. Jimmy Dore was correct. # forced to vote. # Jimmy was right. And just keep in mind, while you watch this video of Cenk, keep in mind why this is how. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a text. Looks like I'm going to be important.
Very important. Very important.
Okay. Numbers were on the screen. Okay. So just remember that the reason why Joe Biden is negotiating with Joe Manchin to water down the COVID bill is because he knows Joe Manchin's serious when he says, I won't vote for it. And you can't get if the 6 House Democrats voted against it in a block, they could control this and get Medicare and they get $15, and they won't. And Cenk's idea is to sign a petition. So now let's watch this. This is going to be fun. Let's watch.
Hey, everybody. So here we go. I'm going to burn my bridges.
What bridges? What bridges? What bridges? You mean your access bridges to the squad? You mean those access bridges? The bridges that you were not burning before by running interference for them and lying and smearing activists who were asking them to do what they ran on? You mean those bridges? The ones that you were lying about and to protect before? Those are the bridges he means, ladies and gentlemen. The bridges he was lying to save before. He lied for them. And everyone saw it. And now he knows that they're not going to do what they're supposed to, as David Sirota pointed out. They're not going to. Now he knows it. And now watch him scramble, flail, and backpedal. Watch this.
I'll tell you what's the reality about progressives in Congress. So Let me be clear. They do not have bad intent. They all mean well. They all want the $15 minimum wage passed. They want Medicare for all passed. They want Green New Deal passed. They want all of that.
Yeah, all right. They're all good people. I still want them to grant me interviews. I'm telling you, they're good people. They just won't do the jobs while you're starving. They just won't do the job they ran on while you're starving. They're good people.
Hey, they're good people. But tonight they'll meet, and they will very, 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 very likely decide to do nothing about putting $15 minimum wage back into the COVID relief bill.
And you are doing nothing to pressure them to put it back in. Where did you have a month-long? Where was your month-long fucking pressure campaign? Did you get other people on board? Did you launch it? Or were you still busy doing your fundraising campaign? Because that's the only pressure campaign you ever waged in your fucking life.
And that means we will lose on $15 minimum wage. But it also means, and this is the most disheartening part, and this is why I'm doing this video and telling you guys, that means
Jimmy Dore was right about force the fucking vote. And it's obvious I was lying to you to retain my access to them. Just like Ryan Grimm was lying to you. He even threw Breonna Joy Gray under the bus and lied about her. But now it's obvious. I knew this day was coming. This is not going to stop. He's going to have to keep doing these videos over and fucking over. Do you think at some point that the Justice Democrats are going to start being progressives instead of just Democrats? It's not happening. I knew this day was coming.
You will lose from here on out.
What? And when did you figure that out? That they're going to lose from here on out? When did you start? You didn't realize that around forced to vote in December? You liar. All right, I can't stop this anymore. I got to just enjoy it.
You must be able to block a must-pass bill if you are to have power. Honestly, it's just basic politics.
Which is exactly what we were saying about forced to vote. It's basic politics. You withhold your vote. Now you have leverage. It's basic politics. It's basic politics now, but not back in January 3rd. It's basic politics now. Now, back then wasn't the right time. Is now the right time? They're still not doing it, but they're still good people.
It's not that complicated. It's not some brilliant strategy. Why does Joe Manchin get everything he wants? Why is he, like, now people are wondering, is he the president? He took out $15 minimum wage almost single-handedly from this bill. Why? He said, I won't vote for the bill if it's in it. That's how you do politics. And people might find that uncomfortable. And if you're a good progressive and a good person, you might say, well, you know, that endangers people a little bit and it delays the bill a little bit and he shouldn't do that. Okay, yes, but
good people, if you're a good person, you don't want to do it because you're a good person.
So those people who didn't do stuff earlier,
it's because they're too good
people.
It's because they're too good.
But how come they didn't write a good, well-written letter before? With all that goodness.
They're too good. Please, they're too good. Please, I can't be telling you the truth about them like Jimmy Dore did, because that would be me just explicitly admitting he was not gonna. This whole video is them. This video is everything we said about fucking forced to vote. This video is everything we said about forced. You don't even have to watch it. Just go back and watch our old videos. That's what this is. It's obvious Jake has watched our show a lot. And because of his bullshitting over this is why a guy with 5 million subscribers gets half the live stream viewers that I get. That's why. Why? Because his own audience fucking sees through him. He's a liar. He's controlled opposition. He's corrupted. And he's not your friend. Cenk Uygur was your enemy with forced to vote, and he still is.
Does lead to power. It does lead to a seat at the negotiating table. If you're not willing to block a bill, you have no power at all. And that is
what the fuck, Cenk? Where were you for forced? What are you talking about? Okay, I can't keep doing
state
this.
of play. So, look, I get to people who should deserve a tiny bit of credit and those that don't. But I need you to understand that this is meant to be constructive, and I will not just
please. I don't want anybody to get mad at me for pointing out politics, basic politics. Do you see him? Do you see how cucked he is? Do you see how afraid he is? Oh, please, this is constructive. I'm not being a jerk like Jimmy Dore. You're going to see this video over and over and over. This is not the last time he has to do this.
Do it as criticism and then leave it be. I'll tell you what should happen and what could actually lead to a victory. So when you have a must-pass bill like this COVID relief plan, you're not actually killing the bill if you vote no. Because what is Biden going to do? Drop it? He's not going to drop it. That's not a thing that's possible. You can't drop this. You can't drop the budget. You can't drop the defense bill. Okay? Those are must passes. So what you do is you force when you...
Oh! He almost said it! He almost said it. You forced... He almost said it.
No. When you is you force when you vote no.
When you force, shit. Disconnect. When you force when you vote no. Let's see it again. That's pretty sweet.
When you force is you passes. So what you do is you force when you vote no. That forces them back to the negotiating table. But this time, you're actually at the table.
You mean like if you withhold your vote from Nancy Pelosi for speaker, you have to go back to the caucus and you have to fucking figure it out again or get a new speaker? You mean like that? So now you're at the negotiating table? Now you have been like that? He almost said it.
Right now, we're not at the table at all. Now, if you're thinking, Cenk, why are you even talking about progressives? Aren't the people blocking this mansion, et cetera? Yes, but everyone leaves the analysis right there. And that's only half the story. Manchin goes...
No, not everyone. Just your show probably up until today. Not this fucking show, buddy.
Okay, the House version, the Democratic version of the bill. I will vote no, so you must do what I tell you, okay? That is when progressives must do the equal and opposite. I'm going to call it the Manchin rule. Okay, you vote no, we vote no. You vote yes, we vote yes. Then it's on you, brother. Then it's on you. Instead, they're likely going to choose to do nothing. Now,
So what Jake is trying to tell you is like, hey, here's a way they could use their leverage, which they're not going to. It's the same way they could have used their leverage with the Nancy Pelosi, and they didn't. It's the same way they're not doing it.
Could even live with that. You're going to say, Cenk, how could you live with that? If they had a good plan to somehow get the $15 minimum wage passed in another way. So if they said, hey, Cenk, look, there's a bunch of senators that are reluctant, and here is our battle plan for flipping them. Great, I'm all ears. I'm going to tell you guys to get excited. I'm going to tell you guys to be part of that plan, and I'm going to give credit to all the people.
I'm positive, Cenk. I'm good. I love everybody and good things. I'm not yelling at anyone, please. Please don't call me a sexist misogynist.
Came out with that great plan and let's go execute it together. If they say, hey, we're not going to block this one, we're going to block the other one, and it's not maybe and it's not vague, it's definite, and okay, then that's a totally fine plan. And waiting an extra 8-9 months for one of those other bills to come up sounds awful to me. But I might even be willing to do that if you were actually going to do it.
When did you figure this fucking out, Cenk? He sounds exactly like me with forced to vote. This is amazing. It's just like, why isn't he just saying, I was lying about forced to vote, all right? Everybody. So that's what I hear, everything he's saying. Of course I was lying. I'm making the exact arguments Jimmy Dore was making for 2 fucking months. Of course he was right. Of course I'm a transparent liar. Of course I was doing it to maintain my access with them and try to squash Jimmy Dore with Brian Grimm. Of course it didn't work. Of course everyone sees it.
Hey, everybody.
I fucked up.
So here we go. I'm going to burn my bridges. I got to tell you what's the reality about progressives in Congress. So let me be clear. They do not have bad intent. They all mean well. They all want the $15 minimum wage pass. They want Medicare for all pass. They want Green New Deal pass. They want all of that. Okay, good people.
It's kind of fun to rewatch it though. It is kind of fun.
But tonight they'll meet, and they will very, 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 very likely decide to do nothing about putting $15 minimum wage back into the COVID relief bill. And that means we will lose on $15 minimum wage. But it also means, and this is the most disheartening part, and this is why I'm doing this video and telling you guys, that means we will lose from here on out. You must be able to block a must-pass bill if you are to have power. Honestly, it's just basic politics. It's not that complicated. It's not some brilliant strategy. Why does Joe Manchin get everything he wants? Why is he, now people are wondering, is he the president? He took out $15 minimum wage almost single-handedly from this bill. Why? He said, I won't vote for the bill if it's in it. That's how you do politics. And people might find that uncomfortable. And if you're a good progressive and a good person, you might say, well, that endangers people a little bit and it delays the bill a little bit and he shouldn't do that. Okay, yes, but it does lead to power. It does lead to a seat at the negotiating table. If you're not willing to block a bill, you have no power at all. And that is the current state of play. So look, I get to people who should deserve a tiny bit of credit and those that don't. But I need you to understand that this is meant to be constructive, and I will not just do it as criticism and then leave it be. I'll tell you what should happen and what could actually lead to a victory. So when you have a must-pass bill like this COVID relief plan, you're not actually killing the bill if you vote no. Because what is Biden going to do? Drop it? He's not going to drop it. That's not a thing that's possible. You can't drop this. You can't drop the budget. You can't drop the defense bill. Okay, those are must-passes. So what you do is you force, when you vote no, that forces them back to the negotiation.
What you do is you force. I just love that moment. That's just my favorite fucking moment. He almost said it.
Table, but this time you're actually at the table. Right now, we're not at the table at all. Now, if you're thinking, Cenk, why are you even talking about progressives? Aren't the people blocking this Manchin, etc.? Yes, but everyone leaves the analysis right there, and that's only half the story. Manchin goes, okay, the House version, the Democratic version of the bill. I will vote no, so you must do what I tell you. Okay, that is what progressives must do. The equal and opposite. I'm going to call it the Manchin rule. Okay, you vote no, we vote no. You vote yes, we vote yes. Then it's on you, brother. Then it's on you. Instead, they're likely going to choose to do nothing. Now, I could even live with that. You would say, Cenk, how could you live with that? If they had a good plan to somehow get the $15 minimum wage passed in another way. So if they said, hey, Cenk, look, there's a bunch of senators that are reluctant, and here's our battle plan for flipping them. Great, I'm all ears. I'm going to tell you guys to get excited. I'm going to tell you guys to be part of that plan, and I'm going to give credit to all the people who came up with that great plan, and let's go execute it together. If they say, hey, we're not going to block this one, we're going to block the other one, and it's not maybe, and it's not vague, it's definite, and okay, then that's a totally fine plan. And waiting an extra 8-9 months for one of those other bills to come up sounds awful to me, but I might even be willing to do that if you were actually going to do it. So, and as things so it's like you could even be willing to do that if you were actually going to do it.
Cenk, you're getting close to committing violence. It sounds like he's about to yell. He sounds frustrated. He's gritting his teeth. He sounds like you're about to sound like Jimmy Dore in a second. Oh my God.
So, and as things stand now, they're not going to. The progressives in Congress will not vote no. They will not vote no on this one, but I'm afraid they're not going to vote no on any of them.
Oh, my God. 3 months behind the Jimmy Dore show. Mr. Fucking Genius. Mr. Fucking Genius. Mr. I'm the grown-up. Mr. Fucking... you fucking oily fucking...
If you don't use your power, we're never going to get these bills passed.
He sounds like
look,
me.
You know how hopeful I am if you ever watch The Young Turks. And I was hopeful and optimistic.
And I'm hopeful you'll keep giving us money at a fucking record clip like you did last year when we were sending you 3 emails a week begging for fucking money.
This one, and in fact, we got some of the way there, all of us together, right?
All of us
and
together.
So if you got a good plan, I swear to God, we're going to go guns blazing all together on it. But you can't tell us that you're not going to put the minimum wage on this. You're not going to vote no. You're not going to block the bill. And again, blocking the bill is not actually blocking the bill. They must renegotiate. They must renegotiate. And at that point, they have to listen to you. Right now, you're telling them they don't have to listen to you. Don't worry about it. Only listen to Manchin. And that's exactly what's happening. Exactly what's happening. And by the way, if you're going to tell me your plan is, don't worry, Nancy Pelosi's on our side and she'll do it later. Okay, on that one, I'll be super clear. That is not the correct answer. Nancy Pelosi's nowhere near on your side. Neither is Chuck Schumer. I've seen them play this shell game 1,000 times over. Neither is Joe Biden. Neither is Kamala Harris. The guys that are the most gullible. I'm sorry, but I mean folks that are like regular voters, et cetera. But sometimes it happens with legislators too. Actually, a shocking number of times it happens with legislators. Oh, no. Schumer said he was interested. He wants to do the minimum wage. Who cares what he said? What did he do? I mean,
you mean like when someone runs on opposing Nancy Pelosi and holding their vote for them as speaker and then they don't do it? You mean like that? What do they do? Who cares what they say? You mean like that?
Shame.
Right now, they could put it in the bill.
Jealous, violence,
and they could say Mansion and
violence.
cinema. No, the answer is no. Now we're going to negotiate. Right? Instead, what all of them are saying is, no, we're not going to negotiate. We're just going to give Manchin whatever he wants. No, we can't have it. If you got a plan, I'm 1,000,000,000% in. But if you can't win and you choose not to fight, and then you don't have a plan on top, no, I'm all the way out. So
I'm never actually gonna pressure you to do the right thing. I'm just gonna say this. I'm going to keep telling everybody that you're good people. I'm going to keep telling everybody that you want what we want. And I'm just going to say that we just have to keep getting ready to be disappointed because there's no reason why. I don't know why. He still doesn't know why they won't do it. He won't tell you why they won't do it. It's exactly what I said because they're already celebrities. The people who are attracted to politics, as Chris Hedges pointed out on this show, are the most mediocre of people to fucking begin with. They're all narcissists, right? What the fuck? And they're only looking out for their own career, and they're climbing up inside the party.
And look, guys, my job is to do the news and be honest with you guys. And right now, I don't see any plan at all. And so you're not going to get minimum wage, $15 minimum wage, and you're not going to get any progressive priorities.
Boy, 5 million subscribers, all that access, and he's 3 months behind a pothead comedian in his fucking garage. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
3 months behind, and he still won't hold their feet to the fire. They're all great people. Please come back on my show. Please help me. I need to. So what he did was he shit on Forced to Vote and me and protected AOC for a certain donor. And now he realizes that the real progressives have all fled his show, and now he's trying to get them back. He got to get that donor base back. That's all this is. You got to get that donor base. He was signaling when he was shitting on Forced to Vote. He was signaling for a donor. And now, after all the real progressives left his stupid fucking show, and rightly so, now he sees that. He sees that he doesn't get anybody watching his show anymore. A lot of the live stream. His show is going to be saved by the corporate algorithm. We all know that. They're on the corporate algorithm. So that's why his show still gets fucking views on a video. But live stream, which is the real test of your loyal viewers, he doesn't have it. And now he's just trying to get back. He's trying to get those people who left him back. He's trying to get that donor base back. Look how scared he looks.
They got to figure out what they want to do. So look, you want me to tell you obvious things? Sure. It's the reality is Biden, Schumer, and Pelosi never wanted it. They were always going to play this game. And if you're a young Turks viewer, you know that for a fact because you saw me with your own eyes tell you over and over again, they don't mean it. They're never going to actually vote yes on minimum wage. That Biden never meant that promise. And I told you that was going to be the very first thing thrown out of the COVID relief bill. You all saw it with your own eyes. And that's exactly what happened.
Is that different than when I said they're not going to cross Nancy Pelosi no matter how long they ran on it, no matter how loud they screamed about it? They're never going to cross Nancy Pelosi. I know. And isn't that the same? Is it what? So I was actually saying that at the end of November. So it's, I don't know, what is that, 4 months ago now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3.5 months behind a pothead comedian.
Jimmy, he's sounding divisive.
He's sounding very violent and divisive. I think he has a problem with women of color.
Why? Am I some political genius? No, it's super obvious. They work for the Chamber of Commerce. They work for their donors. It's the most obvious thing in the world. If we had any journalists in this country,
it was as obvious as the Justice Democrats dropping fucking Medicare for all and opposing Nancy Pelosi and me running interference for them. It was that obvious. It was like when Jeremy Scale didn't know how to ask a fucking follow-up question with AOC. It was that obvious. It was so obvious that Justin Jackson, a running back from a professional football team, was able to own the lead political reporter from The Intercept. Time and time again, hand him his ass over Forced to Vote. That's how obvious this was. 3 months later, Cenk Uygur finally realizes it.
You would all know that. They would show you the millions of dollars like we do. They would show you the millions of dollars that they take from their donors on those issues and how they vote with their donors. That's who Biden is. That's who Manchin is. That's who Sinema is. I mean, if they were like a wrestling tag team, they'd be called the Chamber, okay? Because they work for the Chamber of Commerce, who's their donors. It's the most obvious. So that's obvious, right? like if you're a brain dead so-called journalist in DC, you're like, oh no, they said it. I'm going to write down. Oh, Biden wants it. Oh, golly gee, Biden, Schumer, and Pelosi. Wait, let's just think about that for one quick second. You're telling me Biden, Kamala Harris, Schumer, and Pelosi all want the minimum wage, and they have the House, the Senate, and the White House, but somehow they can't get it. Why? They ran out of shells, and they invented a thing called a parliamentarian. Does the parliamentarian actually exist? Of course it does. Does it have any power? No, zero power, none. If you really wanted it, what did you see on Biden's campaign page or any other campaign pages? All right, number one priority is respect the parliamentarian, even though he has no power. Number two is minimum wage. Number three is paid sick leave. No, we never saw respect rando parliamentarian that gives you advice. Okay, duly noted, dude. Or in this case, the woman that's in charge, right? Great. Okay, I duly noted. I don't agree. Have vice presidents done that in the past? Yes, Hubert Humphrey did it many times. Many other vice presidents, and Walter Mondale did it. So it is very normal. It's part of Senate tradition to say, oh, yeah, I hear your advice, and I don't take it because the person with the power is the presiding chair. The vice president is the presiding chair. Biden is telling Kamala Harris, you are not to back the minimum wage. So don't tell me they want it when they have all the power in the world and they're not giving it to you.
It's Joe Biden. It's Kamala Harris. It's the parliamentarian. It's the Joe Manchin. It's everybody except the Justice Democrats, who actually have just as much power as Kamala Harris here. It's everybody else. But he's actually half admitting it, right? That's the whole point of this video. Like, hey, Jimmy Dore was right, and this is going to keep happening over and over and over, and they're never going to use their leverage ever. And I see the writing on the wall, and that progressives are never going to fight for us. And so this is killing him to have to do this. I have to burn I can't keep lying for them like I've been lying for them about the CARES Act, about the Pelosi vote, about forced to vote Jimmy Dore. I can't keep lying. I see what's coming. Progressives are never going, and now I have to try to get ahead of this because everybody sees me. I climbed up the pole and I'm showing my ass. Everyone sees.
That means they don't want it. What they say is irrelevant. What they do matters. So
that's what I was saying around forced to vote. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. It's you could just put one of those CGI things and put my face over it, and you could just pretend it was forced to vote. And you take all this humor out of my voice. You take all the talent and humor out of my voice, and then it sounds just like it.
Now, so that's obviously true, right? So, but what about progressives?
Oh, here we go.
Look, I'll give Bernie half credit because we all asked them to introduce as an amendment.
I'm going to give Bernie half credit because I need his access and I want him back on my show. And
looks like they're going to introduce it as an amendment. And so I'll give him. But if Bernie wanted to, and it's not just on Bernie, but it is also on Bernie, Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden, anybody, just one senator can go, no. If Manchin votes no, I vote no. Manchin votes yes, I vote yes. It's on Manchin, it's not on me. Not one of them is going to do that. Not one of them. Okay, now let's go to the House. You said, well, what do the progressives in the House have anything to do with this? It's a Senate issue. No, the House can easily block the bill because the Senate amends it. They send it back over to the House. The House has to vote again. Now, how many do you need in the House? Just 6. You just need 6 progressive Democrats to say no. We're not going to.
You know that thing, that forced to vote thing. You know how it works. Jimmy Dore's explained this a million fucking times to you guys. A million. Cenk, let's brainstorm. Which 6 House Democrats do you think we could come up with? What would be the 6? What are the 6 House Democrats? Just off the top of your head, Cenk. Name 6. Name six House Democrats who've been on TYT in the last 5 fucking months. Name them.
Agree to never do the minimum wage. And look, I'll challenge him too. And so this is why I say it's burning the bridges, because when you're out of power, then you're on the Young Turks and you're looking for, volunteers and donors. I'm keeping it real. And I don't begrudge that at all. I love that, right? Because I want our audience empowered. I want you to be able to effectuate change. That's what we're trying to do.
I want to be able to send out emails to you in the middle of the night asking for money, pressuring you in the middle of a pandemic. But what he's really actually admitting is that when he has a politician on his show, it's a transactional relationship. That's what he just admitted. That they come on my show when they're out of power because I can help them with my audience, and they can get volunteers and they can get donors and they can get. And then what do you get? What do you get then, Jake? You get access. And you get them, they owe you. That's what that is, right? That's what he's saying. And that's why I shit on Jimmy Dore and with Ryan Grimm, and we pretended that what was happening wasn't happening, even though a football player fucking made us look like idiots. We don't want to offend our star guests. That's what this is.
We're trying to get you positive change in the world, and we promised you these bills. We promised you minimum wage. We promised you Medicare for all. We promised you Green New Deal, college for all. And now to turn around, but when people get in power and you criticize them like I'm doing now, even if it's in the most constructive way,
See, he's doing it in the right way, unlike Jimmy Dore. You notice the pressure campaign he's able to mount over this, doing it the right way? I don't even think this video got fucking 20,000 views. Hey, Cenk, have you talked to any grassroots organizers? Have you created a committee around this? You haven't done fucking anything, have you, Cenk? You're not doing this right. Have you reached out to the DSA or the nurses? Do you despise grassroots organizers this much? You haven't even tried to do a pressure campaign. You can't even get 20,000 views on this fucking stupid video.
It's in a loving way, saying, I know you've got good intent.
I'm doing it in a loving way. Come on, fuckers. But he can't swear because they have a corporate deal. Their show's on people don't know that the Young Turks news show is actually on regular television on the East Coast. And so that's why they can't swear. They're literally on corporate TV. They're literally the thing that they pretend to be the antidote to. And that's why he doesn't swear anymore. And I don't know if people know that.
You've got to show me a plan for actual success. They say, oh, no, that's it. That's it. You're burnt your bridge.
So when he says that these progressives have good intent, that is not true. They have no intent, zero intent. Just like they had no intent on withholding their vote for Nancy Pelosi as speaker to get a vote for Medicare for all. They did not have an intent. They don't have a good intent. They don't have a bad. They have no intent. Their intent is to watch their star rise inside the party, get along and go along with their careers. That's it. That's their only thing. God damn it. This couldn't be working out better for the Jimmy Dore show. I wish it wouldn't have. I would rather see them actually do this. But I knew they weren't. So now all I can do is try to get, silver lining. The silver lining is it's making guys like this do fucking cartwheels in front of everyone and everyone sees what's happening.
Is you're not allowed to criticize anyone in power. No problem. Because I don't work for them. I work for you guys. I do. I literally work for you guys. You guys do the membership stuff and all.
What about that $24 million you got? What the fuck? So you did a year-long fundraiser last year. You got $2 million. $2 million they raised on top of whatever revenue they generated doing all their other shit. They did a fundraising campaign on top of it. $2 million. So it would take you 12 fucking years to raise the kind of money you got from your right-wing and Clinton donors. So don't look. He looks right into a camera and say, I worked for you. No, it would take you a decade and 2 years to get as much money as your donors gave you in a
other stuff.
By the way, if you worked for your viewers, 85%, almost 9 out of 10 of your own viewers said support #force the vote, you fucking liar. They told you did. They told you what to do. They were leading you as they were giving you their money. Those were your paying members that voted. 9 out of 10 of them said do force the vote, and you said, fuck you, I don't work for you. I'm working for the Katzenberg Clinton donors and right-wingers, and I'm protecting my access to the squad. Fuck my viewers and my own paying members. That's what Cenk Uygur said. He told them, fuck you. He doesn't work for them. You're a chump if you think that.
I'm not going to let you down. My job is to tell you the truth. If it turns out they had a plan, I tell you guys, cool it. Trust me, okay? We're going to get this done, and we're going to be strategic about it, right? But if you tell me, no, I'm not going to do it, and I don't have a plan, or I have pine...
What strategy did you ever have to get anything done? What strategy? I'm going to be strategic. That's like unlike forced to vote. Well, where's your pressure campaign? You know this vote was coming for over a fucking month. Why didn't you launch one? Because you're all bullshit. He's a big fucking gas bag, and this is proving it. He'll never launch a campaign to get politicians to do anything.
Sky where Pelosi and Schumer magically wind up being on our side. And then even if they were, what would they do? $15 minimum wage cannot pass as a standalone bill. It will get filibustered. It must be in a must-pass bill, and it must.
He's getting very close to violence. He's here to tell you the truth that Jeffrey Katzenberg allows him to tell. You know, like when he smeared Julian Assange, right? You mean that kind of truth, Cenk? When you tell people that they can't trust Julian Assange like you did? Like when you smear him, when you repeat CIA talking points and Democratic Party fucking talking points about Julian Assange, and you smear him on your show and you never retract it and you never correct it? You mean that kind of truth, you fucking liar?
Must be able to block that bill if you want the power and you want it to pass. So if they continue on this path, and that's why I'm doing this video, even though it's going to cost me all my relationships, is because I've got to tell.
I believe me, you know, you saw me protect my relationships around forced to vote and Jimmy Dore and all that. Even when Bernie's own press secretary was on board and pointed out how much, and Cornel West, and it doesn't matter. I fucking threw them all under the bus to save my access. But I can't pull that off anymore. No one's watching my live stream. People stopped watching my fucking show. I can't do that anymore. I know I had to go to my board. Jeffrey Katzenberg sits on his hedge fund, sits on his board. Buddy Romer sits on his board. Cenk has a board. I had to go to them. I can't keep doing this. No one's watching my show anymore. Jimmy Dore's getting double my live stream numbers. He's a pothead comedian in his fucking garage, except he's telling the truth.
I think I have to tell them, and they'll be so offended. How dare you tell us what reality is? But guys, you tell me. So that's why I'm saying let me challenge them, but in a good way, right?
Let me challenge them, but in a way where people don't get mad at me. You know how you hold politicians accountable with them not being, please, I'm not going to do anything. Please don't make anybody mad at me. Fucking what a cock. I'm going to challenge them in a way that nobody notices and nobody talks about and is 100% ineffective. That's how I'm going to challenge them. AOC didn't come out on Twitter to have to fucking respond to Cenk, did she? No. She had to come out to respond to the Jimmy Dore show when we were bringing up forced to vote. No. Okay, here we go. Cenk, did you hold a town hall on this? Why didn't you? Why didn't you get a bunch of people? Why didn't you get Cornel West and a bunch of Barry and William? Why don't you get a bunch of people to do a coalition for $15 minimum wage and hold a town hall and invite the squad and invite your progressive buddies that you have access to? And why don't you do that? Well, because you're lazy and you're not actually an organizer and you're fucking corrupted? Oh, okay, I got it. And you're going to wait for the left. You're going to wait for the left industrial complex to accuse you of not being an organizer? Is that what you're going to do?
I think it is, but I'm sure they'll be deeply, deeply, deeply offended, right? Tell us what your plan is. And you know, I don't know if you could tell the groups and the progressive groups, and it's just
so this begging politicians to do what they're supposed to do. How's that working out for you? This begging, that's your tack. Please save us, Kamala. Hashtag save us. Please do it for the love of God.
Secret and etc. But tell somebody, because right now, that's what I've asked everyone on planet Earth. There is no plan B. Well,
hashtag save. I came up with hashtag force to vote. Cenk, you came up with hashtag save us Kamala. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Now do you see why he's doing this? Do you see why?
There's no plan B, then I'm not going to come out here and tell you guys that it's going to be okay. My optimism is rooted in reality. We have done 1,000 things together. The audience and us, okay, 1,000 things.
Helped
raise money for my
raise money for my company, helped raise money for my healthcare. Well, I told you didn't need it. Help me do loser Donald segments for a whole fucking year instead of telling people that Hillary Clinton was screwing you and why she was going to lose if she didn't change. That's what the Young Turks should have been doing with Hillary Clinton, applying pressure to her to make her a better candidate. Instead, they didn't. They ran cover for her. She became a worse candidate, and we got Donald Trump.
I honestly think we've created some miracles together. But in order to do that, you can't just wish it into existence, and you can't just have good intent and go, cross fingers, right?
Oh,
like
really?
I do when I hope my audience doesn't notice what I'm doing.
No, you have to have a plan for taking power and using it on behalf of your voters, on behalf of the people that you made those promises to. So if they got a plan or they got anything that they're going to do, I would be ecstatic if I was wrong. I would be jubilant if I was wrong. I would be so happy. I would look like the Cenk that you saw on the night that they all won their elections. When they won their elections, you saw me jumping through the roof. And why did you see that? Because I thought we were going to get this stuff done. And if now they turn around and they join the "there's nothing we can do" crew, no, I'm out and you should be out. So look.
So if he was serious about that, what he would tell you is we need to apply pressure because the vote's not till next week. The Justice Democrats could still, all it takes is 6 members. They could still control this and get the $15 minimum wage put back into the bill. So if he was serious about what he was saying, what he would tell you is what I told you to do after Force the Vote. Stop donating to them. He would tell you if he was serious about getting you $15 minimum wage and if he was serious about influencing politicians, he would tell you stop donating to the Justice Democrats right now. And the fact that he's not telling you to do that tells you that he's bullshitting you again. He's not really applying pressure to them at all.
Yeah, he didn't burn a bridge.
He's not burning a bridge. Burning a bridge would be telling them stop donating to the Justice Democrats right now and start tweeting at them to fucking withhold your vote. As a block, start voting. He's not going to do any of that. There's still time for him to launch a pressure campaign. This is the opposite of a pressure campaign. This is him saying you guys already are not going to do it, and I'm not going to try to get you to do it. He's not even trying to get them to do it. At least David Sirota is trying to get them to do it. Cenk isn't. He's not going to ever launch a pressure campaign. He won't even say a cross word to them. He won't even swear.
Will we give him a second, third chance? Yes, as long as there's something real.
What he's trying to distract you from is that he backed Nara Tanden, and so did the Justice Democrats. Nara Tanden, and she ain't getting through.
Right? So I'm not drawing some sort of line and saying, "Oh, that's it," and I'm not pretending to have any power that I don't have. I have zero power. The only thing that I have is you guys.
The only thing I have is the ability to smear Jimmy Dore for no reason when he does the exact same thing I'm complaining about here. When Jimmy Dore actually launches a pressure campaign to make this happen, the thing that I'm fucking whining about right now like a baby, when Jimmy Dore actually does that, I will fucking shit on that. What I won't do is actually do the thing that Jimmy Dore did. I won't actually pressure you. I won't actually call you out by name. I won't actually look into a camera and say, we're coming for you if you don't do what you're supposed to. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I'm a cuck for fucking money and influence. And everyone sees it, Cenk. That's why me, a guy who's not even trying, is outdoing you at a fucking nuclear level. And everyone sees it. Go look at your live stream numbers right fucking now, Cenk. Go look. We're doubling you. Me in my fucking garage, high as a kite. You, in your fucking closet, sweating your balls off like the oily...
So if you guys say, hey, what Cenk is saying makes sense, I'll do that, and I'll follow that path, great. If you don't think it makes sense and you think, oh, no, they probably Pelosi and Schumer are on their side, and probably it'll happen a couple of years later, okay, then you do that, okay? And that's your choice. So if they want to come out and explain how they got a great strategy, I'm all ears, ecstatic to hear it, etc. But if they don't turn around, that's why I'm doing the video. If they don't turn around,
I'm going to give them one more chance. This is your last chance, you guys.
But not really. Just your last chance this week of March.
We're in the middle of a pandemic and an economic collapse that we ain't never seen. This is an outright assault on workers in America, what the oligarchs are doing right now. An outright assault. They want to bankrupt you. They want you to not be able to pay your rent or your mortgage. Why would they want that? So they can come take your property. Well, what do you mean, Jimmy? I'm a renter. I have a landlord. Your landlord doesn't be able to pay the note on his apartment. Wall Street comes and takes the apartment, just like in 2008. If you can't fucking pay your mortgage, they come and take your house. Graham Elwood. They come and take your house. That's what this is. They didn't want Graham to have the money to pay his mortgage. They wanted Graham to default on his loan so they could give that house to fucking Steve Mnuchin. And that's what they did. And that's what they're doing right now. Right now, they're making sure you don't get COVID relief or a $15 minimum wage, so you default on your mortgage, so you can't pay your rent. So all that goes to the creditors. Who are the creditors? Wall Street.
Right? Or ever.
And those are the future investors in the Young Turks.
We have no chance of winning. They've got to hold the line. If they don't hold the line, there's no hope. If you have power,
Jimmy Dore was right.
The point of it is to use it.
Why didn't
if you're
they
the
use
budget
it in
chairman,
January?
Why did they use it in January?
you should use your power as the
They
budget
didn't.
chairman.
You were
The corporate
against it.
Democrats do it all the time. Richie Neal kills us as the chair of the Ways and Means Committee. He has killed untold number of progressive legislation. And Pelosi goes, oh, there's nothing I could do. Richard Neal, the budget chair. I mean, the Ways and Means chair. There's nothing you can do. The chairman decides. Now we go to the Senate. All of a sudden, the chairman doesn't decide. Oh, come on, guys. We're tired of this shell game. We're super duper exhausted.
You don't have power unless you flex it. You don't have power. Where have I heard that before? Where have I heard this? Where have I heard all of this before? Right here in my studio. That's where I've heard this come out of my fucking mouth.
Of this shell game. Pass the damn thing. There is a way to pass it, and you know it. But you've got to, and now this, all right, anyway.
Now
you know what they got to do. They know what they got to do. If they don't do it, it's okay. There's no threats here. There's no nothing here. There's just disappointment and reality. You know how you could prove me wrong and say, ha, that Cenk guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. You should never listen to him. Pass the damn.
So this is Jed Guger. He's trying to do it in a nice. He's trying to nice him into it. He's trying to nudge the vote. Let's nudge the vote. Come on, let's nudge the vote. Hashtag nudge. Hashtag pretty please save us. Hashtag pretty please. Hashtag we're being nicer than Jimmy Dore. Hashtag.
Pass the $15 minimum wage. Throw me under a bus. Throw me under an 18-wheeler. I don't care. But for God's sake, have a plan. Fight for it. Hold
By the way, if someone threw him under the bus, that bus would lose.
the line and pass it. That's what we elected you for. And if at some point you can't stand up to Pelosi, Schumer, and Biden, look, super last thing, guys. If you can't stand up to those guys, we're never going to win. And don't get me wrong. There is there is a significant downside to those folks standing up to those people. They'll get all the hate in the world. Okay. The Pelosi and Schumer will yell at him and they'll say, you're get committee assignments and this and your constituents. And
you mean they'll be folk heroes for decades. They'll be heroes. They'll be megastars immediately. Fuck you, Cenk. Shut the fuck up. your stupid bullshit. Oh no, they'll have to endure the disapproval of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and that's really hard to take, you guys. They're worse than Jimmy Dore with the adjectives.
You needed this bill, and the bill must pass, and you're delaying it, and you're a monster, and all of the corporate media will join. All the corporate media will rain down hell on them. I know.
You mean like they did against Force the Vote? You mean like you joined in with the corporate media to fucking shit on Force the Vote, right, Cenk? You mean like that, right, Cenk? I can't. This is my show for the next fucking 4 years. Just playing videos of him and laughing at them. Ryan Grimm. Where the fuck is Ryan Grimm been? What's he at? What kind of stupid shit
I think he's talking about Pago.
Is he talking about Pago with Anna Kasparian again?
Jimmy, you have no idea what a triumph Pago was on January 5th, Jimmy. It might not be that sexy, but it really did accomplish a lot.
I love the fact that this stupid little pothead show was able to fucking damage liars like Ryan Grimm, The Intercept, and fucking TYT, backed by billionaire money, both those institutions backed by billionaire money, and we were able to put a fucking hurt on him. Thank God. And how do we do it? By telling the truth. Just by being who we were, people saw what was going on. And now he's flailing. Half the live stream viewers that we get. Half.
I know that. But you're going to be surprised at how easy it is to get past that. The corporate media hates you anyway. The leadership was never going to give you what you wanted anyway. The reason that they would be upset is because you are demanding power. How many times do we have to do the same Frederick Douglass quote? Power never concedes without a demand.
And that's why you're not demanding anything, Cenk. Cenk, you haven't demanded fucking anything since you got on the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016. You haven't demanded a fucking thing from elected officials. Nothing. You know when you told people to start voting for Biden? What did you demand from Biden for your vote? Nothing. Nothing. What did you demand from the squad for your vote? Nothing. What did you demand from Nancy Pelosi for their vote? Nothing. You are a fucking gaslighting bullshitter that people can see from 100 miles away. But yeah, the Democrats demanded something from you, Cenk Uygur. Was that your email list of your own fucking donors? Yes, you sold it, didn't you?
Tonight, they're going to decide whether they're going to do a demand tonight. And if they decide no, at some point, they've got to figure out if they're ever going to demand power on your behalf. That's their decision to make.
They're in power.
I just tell you what's happening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Thank you for doing all that you.
Okay. So there you go. And just want to remind people, she said the reason why they couldn't do Force the Vote was because they were saving up their powder. They were keeping their powder dry so they could push for a minimum $15 minimum wage. Just so you know. You have to, that's the opportunity cost away. So we didn't do Force the Vote, which means we're going to get $15 minimum wage, right? Go sign a petition. Go sign AOP's petition or sign our petition. Just jump in. Be good. Petitions is how things get done. Such a fucking only a fucking cuck progressive would say something like that. And that's what Cenk Uygur is on purpose. Corrupt cuck progressive, lying and gaslighting to you at the top of his fucking lungs. He'll never ever pressure politicians ever to do anything. Okay, over to Steph. And wait, come back to me. What he should tell you, when you'll know when people who are upset about what's happening with the Democratic Party, you'll know they're serious. You'll know they're serious. If they're criticizing the squad or the progressives for not fucking doing, because they have all complete control right now. And if you see them criticizing them without saying stop donating to the Justice Democrats, you know they're not real. That's all theater. What Cenk Uygur just did was all theater. He didn't make a demand. He didn't make a demand of the Justice Democrats. So he should make a demand and then say the consequences is I'm going to tell my audience to stop donating to you. He's not doing that. He's doing the exact opposite of what he wants the squad to do. He wants the squad to demand something from power, and he won't demand anything from power. I did. I told you better do Force the Vote or I'm calling you out. I'm letting everybody know, and I'm telling them to stop donating to you. And everybody should stop donating to the Justice Democrats fucking 2 months ago. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.